Hi, welcome to the Get Ready with God podcast. My name is Julie Taylor and I am your host, and I am not God. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scriptorian. I'm literally just a girl sitting in front of a microphone, hoping God is real. The Get Ready with God podcast is the daily devotional podcast to help you see divinity in every day. I think by the time this episode goes up, Halloween will be over. But right now, it is before Halloween, and my neighbor got me the cutest mug. I wish I had it in here. It says literally just a ghoul, and it has little ghosts on it. It's so cute. It was so thoughtful. It really made my day. Literally just a ghoul. Which, the other reason I love that is because do you guys remember when Sophie did the intro? That's how she says girl. It's like ghoul. Literally just a ghoul. So anyway, I love Halloween. I love Sophie. And it meant so much to me that my neighbor thought of me and brought me that because of this intro to this podcast. But speaking of my neighbor bringing something over, this is along the lines of what I want to talk about. One of the lessons that I've learned through grief is that I think that God puts people in your life when you need them. And I think that's one of the ways that he cares for us through the hard things that we have to go through. And so I can look back and see like certain people were removed from my life before Simon died that would have made my life a lot harder if they were still in it, to be honest. And other people were added to my life that have really been hugely instrumental in helping me cope with this. And I say this carefully because I know a lot of people don't have the friends and the support and the love that they need in really hard times. And that is one of the luckiest parts of my tragedy is the people that I've had to help me through it. But I also want to say that this is the lesson I learned. And that is sometimes you can fixate so much on the people who aren't there that you don't see the ones who are. And this was especially true in grief. Like a lot of the people that you think should be there for you in a certain way aren't. And then a lot of like random people come out of the woodwork and show up huge and you're like, oh my gosh, do you even know me? Why do you love me so much? Or certain people will just come into your life, or certain people will send the one text you need to hear, and they're just like not the major players in your life that you thought would be the ones getting you through the hard thing. Anyways, that has been my experience in grief, is that people who I didn't really expect to show up have, and some of the people who I did have not. And I don't even mean that critically, because I think that's actually divinely inspired. I think that if we all follow the call, then everything will be covered. And it's really taught me, though, that if I fixate on the people who I wished showed up differently, and this isn't just in grief, this is in life, if you constantly chase the friendships where you just wish you were included and you wish you were supported and you wish they liked you more, you might miss all of the beautiful opportunities for friendships who are ready and have time and capacity and willingness to prioritize the relationship. And this starts from junior high, and I don't think it ever stops into adulthood. But it's painful because we can kind of cling on to the ones that we wish were doing it. And in my experience, though, that just blinds us to the ones who are. And so then we stay fixated on this negativity and fixated on being left out or disappointed or hurt. And we are being blind to all of the beautiful goodness and love and support and new relationships that are undoubtedly flooding in. And so if you find yourself in a place where you're like, man, I just wish people were better, maybe change your view a little bit. Shift your vision of who you're looking to and what expectations you have. And you might be surprised who's actually there, but you haven't. Maybe they're not the ones you want to be there. And so you've not seen them. But there is a parallel to faith in this for me. And that is, there are parts of my faith that are really strong and pretty unwavering. There's a lot of other parts of my faith that are full of dissonance and heavy with doubt and constantly cyclically threatening to make me abandon it all. And sometimes I let that dissonance and doubt convince me that that's how I feel about faith as a whole, about everything. And I can be blind to the parts of my faith that are really strong and really important, because I just wish that I could believe like so-and-so, or I wish I could figure out this one thing that haunts me. And so I forget what I have already been gifted confidence in and faith in. And so sometimes I think the solution is, again, to shift your vision and look in a different place. Because just like friends, Different ones might be there than you want. I think the same, or expected, the same thing is true in faith, where it might not be the faith you wanted. It might not be the experience you wanted. It might not be the testimony you wish you had. But there's likely something there that you know and trust and believe and feel confident in. And don't overlook that just because the dissonance is loud and the doubts are heavy. It counts too. That's it. That's it. And I think the other universal metaphor in both of these situations is you got to do your part. Sometimes you have to do the inviting, you have to do the initiating, you have to put yourself out there. You have to study the faith. You have to ask God to help you, guide you, build your faith. You have to be an active participant in both. All it takes is the desire to have desire. That's it. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Love you, bye.